The news day continues here on One News Now. I'm Charles Lejano. The Health Department logs over 11,000 new COVID-19 cases for today. This brings the country's total caseload to 2.65 million. More than 106,000 of this number are considered active cases or are under treatment. At least 273 more patients did not survive the infection, as the death toll now inches closer to 40,000. Meanwhile, some 22,500 have recovered from COVID-19. Total recoveries are now at 2.5 million. Positivity rate has gone down, meanwhile, to 16.3%, and this means less than 1 in 5 individuals who get tested for COVID-19 are found positive with the virus. More than 1 million fresh doses, fresh supply of COVID-19 shots arrived in the country. Officials welcomed some 1.3 million Moderna doses at NAIA Terminal 1 in Pasay City earlier today. The latest batch of vaccines was procured both by the government and the private sector. Recall that vaccines are, Carlito Galvez Jr. said, the government expects 100 million COVID-19 shots by the end of October. Still on vaccines, the government launches a raffle for vaccinees in a bid to encourage more Filipinos to get vaccinated. The Health Department rolled out the program called Bakuna Panalo, an SMS-based raffle open to vaccinated Filipinos. A total of 3 million pesos in cash will be raffled until December, where individuals can win between 100,000 and 1 million pesos. The DOH notes that more raffle entries are to be given to the vaccinated elderly to achieve the target immunization of the sector. Complete details about the initiative can be found on the DOH website and their Facebook page. In the U.S., children below 12 may soon be allowed to get their COVID-19 shots. This as Pfizer and BioNTech are seeking the approval of the U.S. Food and Drug Administration for emergency use authorization. Let's watch this Bloomberg report.
Today, Pfizer and BioNTech submitted it for emergency use authorization of their children's vaccine. And it's for kids ages 5 to 11. And it's a series of 2 smaller doses. Now, the president is set to speak this afternoon about vaccination, so hear more about the focus coming from the federal level. But let's talk to Bloomberg's Robert Langreth about health and the focus of the children's vaccine. Do we think this is going to get an all clear? Because I know many a school, many a parent is waiting very much on this.
Well, right, definitely. This is the first vaccine to be submitted to be authorized in a pediatric dose for younger kids. This is ages 5 to 11 they're talking about, so younger school kids. And there's a potential of having this on the market available by early November for school kids, and certainly a lot of parents that want it. But the FDA is definitely going to look at this vaccine data and safety very, very carefully, because young kids, while they can spread the virus, they're less likely to develop severe complications. And certainly at the same time, there's some indications that younger males, and in particular, are more likely to get this rare adverse event that's been reported, this myocarditis, this heart inflammation. So that's all going to be looked at very, very carefully to make sure that the vaccine is totally safe in young kids. And one of the things that's different is that Pfizer and BioNTech are going for a lower dose in the younger kids. They're going for 1/3 the adult and older teenage dose. So it's a much lower dose on young kids. But clearly, this is a big event, a big advisory panel that's happening towards the end of the month. The data is going to be reviewed in public again, and everyone's kind of waiting very carefully to see what that reveals.
Maybe talk to us a little bit about the hurdles, the differences in the hurdles between the children's vaccines approval and the adult vaccine approval. Presumably there are a lot of parents that are waiting for this vaccine, but there are also a lot of parents that are probably going to tread somewhat lightly as to necessarily running out to get their kids vaccinated. What kind of hurdles are there for approving the vaccine that can make those parents feel a little bit more assured in its efficacy and likely side effects being somewhat minimal?
So they are applying for an emergency use authorization. So it's similar to the original emergency use authorizations for older people. Now, the Pfizer vaccine in adults now has a full approval, because they've gotten 6 months of follow-up data, and we're able to get full approval for the adult vaccine. So this would still be an emergency authorization in younger kids. But the FDA actually made, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration actually made Pfizer and other companies go back and increase the size of their trials in the younger children in order to increase the size of the safety database. So we're talking about there are likely to be several thousand younger kids in the trials.
We'll be back with more stories after a quick break. Keep it here on One News. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Charles Lejano. The National Privacy Commission warns the public against smishing, or a type of phishing through text messages. In today's Laging Handa briefing, NPC Commissioner Raymond Liboro urged the public not to click links sent via SMS from unknown numbers. Liboro said the agency is now looking into reports of smishing concerning contact numbers obtained through contact tracing forms. Mobile phone users are also advised to immediately block unknown numbers after receiving suspicious links.
Siguraduhin po no, kapag ho hindi ho malinaw, no, hindi nyo kilala yung mga source na nagpapadala sa inyo at kayo po hinihikayat na mag-click o mag-tap, huwag na ho kayong mag-click, huwag na ho mag-tap, i-block nyo na lamang po yung caller at mag-report po no, na kayo po ay na-spam.
A U.S. delegation is set to meet with Senior Taliban Representatives in Doha this weekend. This will be their first face-to-face meeting since the Taliban took over Afghanistan and Washington pulled their troops from the country. The high-level U.S. delegation will include officials from the State Department, International Development Agency, and intelligence community, and they seek to press the Taliban to ensure continued safe passage for U.S. citizens as well as others out of Afghanistan. Let's now take a quick look at today's other top stories. The Commission on Human Rights pays tribute to its chairman, Chito Gascon, after his sudden passing due to COVID-19. The CHR said Gascon's leadership has inspired and nurtured a culture of empowering and a safe environment that moves CHR personnel to serve with genuine compassion and integrity. They added that Gascon was unwavering and unflinching in his fight for freedom, truth, and justice in the pursuit of human rights. Pag-asa says Tropical Storm Maring has maintained its strength as it interacts with the circulation of Tropical Depression Nando. At 4 p.m., Maring was last spotted some 745 kilometers east of Catarman in northern Samar while moving eastward. Tropical Depression Nando, meanwhile, was at 895 kilometers east of central Luzon. And in the PBA, it was the Meralco Bolts and the TNT Tropang Giga that came out on top in Game 3 of the respective semifinal series. The depleted Meralco squad managed to power through against the Magnolia Hotshots 91-86 to snatch their first win in the semis. TNT, meanwhile, dominated the San Miguel Beermen en route to a 115-98 victory to take a 2-1 series lead. For more updates, visit News 5, the Philippine Star and Business World online. Do visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. And you can also catch One News on SignalPay. Register for a free account now at www.signalplay.com. You can stream One News live anytime, anywhere. I'm Charles Lejano. Mask on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. We're One News.